I did want to shift, though, to the game that everybody was getting hyped up about, and for good reason. Buffalo and Detroit, a lot of people dubbed it, myself included, potential Super Bowl preview. Could we see these two teams in February? New Orleans? Who knows? We very well still could. But Buffalo won what could not exactly be described as a defensive battle, 48-42 in Detroit against the Lions, handing Detroit their second loss of the season and their first since week 2 against Baker Mayfield and the all of a sudden red-hot Buccaneers. And Josh Allen was, awesome. You look at his numbers yesterday. 23 of 34, 362 yards passing. Keep in mind, he also had 68 yards rushing. So he had 430 yards of offense in this game. 2 touchdowns passing, 2 touchdowns rushing. He had a pass rating of 122. I don't know how it wasn't higher. And a QBR 0 to 100 of 95. Not entirely sure how that was not higher. Josh Allen was nothing short of incredible. So let's talk in the micro as it pertains to this stretch of football, and then we'll talk the macro. Listen, we've seen this from athletes, the right kind of athletes, the ones that are intensely focused. Matter of fact, turn anything that's going in their life into positives, into be it motivation, what have you, into their playing careers. Is that Josh Allen's been great all season long, but he's been especially brilliant over the last 3 games. And just an idea, floating this out there, not saying I'm right. If you want to call me wrong, I won't even fight you on it. But is it within the realm of possibility that maybe, just maybe, that this recent stretch Josh Allen has been going on as of late could have something to do with his recent love life engagement to Haley Steinfeld as of late? Because we could show you since that engagement, Josh Allen has been kind of amazing. 14 touchdowns, by the way, with 0 turnovers, with as many attempts as as many times he throws the football, he does a fumble. That's pretty good. 14 touchdowns, no turnovers, 1,000 total yards, and the team has scored 42 points per game over the last 3 games. So I'm just saying. I remember there was a stretch last year where Travis Kelce, we know Kelce had an amazing postseason, and this might have had something to do with what I'm about to say, but there was like a mini stretch. I think it was in like September, October. There was like a stat. I think I remember even showing the graphic of what Travis Kelce's numbers were when Taylor Swift, when they had just started their relationship, was in attendance, and when they weren't, and the numbers were significantly better. And Kelce's a great player. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. We know this. One of the greatest to ever play his position. Just saying, Josh, he and Haley have been together for a while, but I'm just suggesting. That's the micro. The macro, though. And listen, I have been seen, I think, by those that have watched this show as a Josh Allen skeptic. I think haters too strong. Like they're I don't know how many, if there are any haters at all at this point, Josh Allen. If you are, I can't really help you. But my thing with Josh was always this. It was 2 things. Number 1, guys, he's not Mahomes. I'm sorry. We've seen them 3 times in the playoffs. Every single game across the board, I've done segments on this. Mahomes has been the better player. He just has been. Even the games Josh has played well, Mahomes has been either a little bit or a lot better. And number 2 with Josh is, for all of the mind-blowing upside, the downside, while not close to as frequent, is really bad. The picks, I always said about Josh, quarterbacks throw picks. I want quarterbacks to throw some picks just in the sense that I want you to be aggressive. But Josh was making mistakes, not even turn the ball over at times, where it's like, what is the risk reward of this play? He's cut that out. And you can attribute it to Joe Brady. You can attribute it to the offensive line, the best he's had in his career. You can attribute it in part to James Cook being, again, the source of the best run game he's had. James Cook had over 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns and 7.5 yards per carry, so he was great. But I'm willing to say at this point, whatever we attribute it to, maybe some of this is just a maturation process by Josh Allen. Getting older, this is year 7 for him in his career. Maybe it's just as simple as the maturation. I'm willing to go here with Josh Allen. I'm willing to go here. This guy's one of the 3 most talented players to ever play the position in the history of the game of football ever. There, I said it. That's who he is. If I had to rank it in order, I've said for a while, Mahomes the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. Aaron Rodgers. People think I hate Aaron Rodgers. Lately, I dislike basically everything about how he's gone out about his business. But as a natural talent, are you kidding me? Aaron Rodgers is absolutely no lower than number 2, and Josh Allen's number 3. At that 3 spot, I was kind of somewhere in between Dan Marino and John Elway, as just natural throwers of the football, how they carried themselves, the physicality of how they play the position. Folks, we've never seen a guy with the arm strength of a Brett Favre, a Mahomes, a Rodgers, just natural God-given arm strength. We've never seen that combined with the mobility that is greater than any quarterback ever, save for like Lamar Jackson and maybe Michael Vick. Michael Vick's probably above Josh Allen. Steve Young, he's got him. Cam Newton, he's got him. Rushing touchdowns, the whole thing. This guy is an all-time talent position. And there's very much I've heard the comparisons between, they say, oh, this is Mahomes and Allen is the new Brady Manning. It's like, well, Peyton Manning did win 5 MVPs. And the whole knock on Peyton for years is, oh, he couldn't beat Brady. But Peyton was setting records. Peyton was winning league MVPs. His thing is he just couldn't get it done in the playoffs. Josh, it's like the reverse, right? Like Josh's playoff numbers are really good. I remember he had a stretch in 2021 where he had a darn near perfect pass rate. Josh has been great in the playoffs. He's just fallen short to a dynasty. I feel like there's to do a cross-sport example, a bit of a LeBron James and Kevin Durant type of scenario, where it's like KD would have nights where it's like, is he better than LeBron? Just the ability to get to spot, knock the shots down, the handle, the three-pointer, the getting to the rim, all of it. KD is one of the most complete offensive players ever. But then you look at LeBron, it's like, man, Durant's awesome, but LeBron's just on a different level. That's how I feel about Mahomes. Well, the numbers, compare their playoff numbers. Josh's are excellent. Mahomes' are otherworldly. They're Madden-like. They're insane. I've shown them multiple times on the show. His pass ratings off the charts, record, pass yards per game, all better than his regular season numbers. And he's a 2-time regular season MVP for what that's worth. And so, but that doesn't, you don't have to, you don't have to burn Josh Allen's light in order to give credit to Patrick Mahomes. You don't have to do that. These are 2 great players in their own right. And I mean, again, Dan Marino was awesome. John Elway is one of the 5 best to ever do it, in my opinion. They could not do with their legs what this man can do with his legs. And we know his arm strength is incredible. Like, if you're talking about a guy who's in mid-60s completion, I'm not expecting Josh Allen to be as accurate as Joe Burrow. I'm not asking him to be 69, 70% completion guy. That would make him Superman, essentially. Okay, like, don't turn the ball over. Great runner, great arm. Oh, and he completes like 7 out of 10 passes. That's just not realistic for a guy that plays the way that Josh Allen plays. But for him to have been able to cut out the mistakes that he's been able to cut out while doing what he does with his arm and his legs is, look, I've been saying the last few weeks, I feel like Saquon was the MVP. It's becoming darn near impossible not to say Josh Allen is not the MVP of the National Football League. I mean, the case for Lamar last year, and Lamar, by the way, did not have the numbers Josh had, but the case for Lamar was, well, numbers are really good. They're not amazing, but they're really good. As a matter of fact, Dak and Brock Purdy's numbers were actually better, but the record is great. They're crushing great teams. You kind of have to give it to Lamar. Like that blowout on Christmas Day against the 49ers, I feel like sealed it for him. But this year, the Ravens are 8-5. They're not going to win as many games as last year. I get the head-to-head between Allen and Lamar. That happened back in week 4. These are different teams, different players, different seasons. It's not to say Lamar isn't great. It's not to say Jared Goff, who I'll get to the Lions in just a second, wasn't great yesterday. But you see the juxtaposition of Jared Goff, who's a pretty good, really good quarterback. Like top 10, you can make a more than valid case. Jared Goff's one of the 10 best quarterbacks on the planet. But to see that and, oh, yeah, that guy's going to have a bust in Canton, and you don't even think twice about it with Josh Allen. Listen, people could say I've come around on Josh Allen. I've just been like, hey, I love everything I see. Just cut out the mindless errors, and he's kind of done that. Matter of fact, he's really done that. So, I mean, look at Josh Allen's numbers this year. He's thrown 5 picks all season. 14 games, thrown 5 interceptions. So you give him a lot of credit where it's due, and he's been nothing short of spectacular. And right now, I think he's got to be the MVP. And from what I've seen, this is one of the 3 greatest. Sorry, not greatest. Let me back up for a second. One of the 3 most talented guys to play the position. Tom's the GOAT. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Nobody's going to dispute that. Tom cannot move like Josh. Tom didn't have the arm strength of Josh. Now Tom and the clutch gene, the intangibles, the accuracy, movement in the pocket, like those are the things. And obviously, more rings than any franchise. 7 is what makes him the GOAT. But man, this guy's out. This guy's unbelievable. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.